G'day guys, Mark Hatton here. This lesson is just for the beginners out there. We're going to look at a few basic bends. I'm going to show you how to bend from a minor scale to a major scale and back. And I'm going to go over some palm muting. Let's get into it. And these are the bends. Okay, so getting into the detail here, what you're doing is you're bending this note from the 9th right up into the 10th. So that's the note you're trying to reach. You're bending up from number 9. Got to get used to hearing when that hits the right spot. You don't want to be over bending or under bending. When you get good at these bends, you'll start hearing other guys playing, and you'll hear underbends which just are annoying to listen to. So you want to get that right on pitch. Classic overbend. It's like no, or underbend. Flat. So after a while, you won't have to think about that. It'll just come naturally. You'll just squeeze it right up to the right spot. You want to really put some sweat into these notes too. You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan didn't muck around. He would put every ounce of energy into every note, it felt like, and you know, it pays off for him. I like to put a sweep in front of most of my big bends like that. Oh, overbend. If you're not familiar with sweeps, you just practice them like that. What you're doing is you're palm muting. So you got your palm of your hand, the meaty part of your hand up against the strings, which is, I call them fum-fums, but so you if you don't palm mute it, it just sounds nasty. It's like, oh yuck, you know. So important to get that palm mute on there. Now, I do it subconsciously, but you're actually putting your palm on there, on the strings a lot while you're playing lead, just to keep the noise down, because you don't want rattle and buzz coming from up here while you're playing down here. It just sounds horrid. You've got all this extra noise coming in. So just shut that up. Keep it nice and quiet, and just release the strings at the bottom, you know, number 1, 2, 3, just the ones you're playing. So that's where the noise is coming from. So even when I do that, I'm still holding the palm of my hand on big fat E and A string at the top here, so we can't get any noise from it. And even if you've got the palm on there and you're playing it, you can still get cool sounds out of that. There's a few things going on in there, so just start with getting used to bending. Another great spot up here. You really need the strength of 3 fingers often to get in there, and you can load them all up there. Trying to do it on 1 finger alone, you just never get there. It's too much work. So Bring up the back up, number 2. 3 fingers much easier. And of course Stevie Ray Vaughan was a classic for, he would bend up one string and then drag in a couple of the other strings to it as well, like a... But don't worry about that, just stick to the single strings for a start. And this one down here, coming into your root note, you want to bend into that. That's a cool one as well, instead of just landing on there. That, you can just bend into it. Or great for starting a solo, good spot for starting a solo. I've got a couple other strings getting a bit messy in there, but... and this one too. No, that's wrong. Never do that. So much more interesting than just starting with that note. And have a play around, create your own bends. You can find different spots. For a while I was bending on this pattern. These strings are pretty heavy, so I'm struggling to get that. So I just wouldn't do it. If you can't make it, you're better off leaving it out, but if you can get it, great. See, I'm having to squeeze that really hard. Too hard, in fact, so... Okay, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this note here on fret number 9, it's actually part of your major scale, and it can be cool to bend from major to minor. It's you know, it can be a good little bridge to get from one scale to the other. So your B major pentatonic is basically this. So you can see those two spots there. They're the two notes that we're trying to bend. And they fit perfectly on the major scale, so I'll try and give you an example of how you would bend from one to the other. Yeah, so very cool way to bend from one scale to the other. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. We'll catch you next time.